Hi, so we're looking at Grammar Lesson 3, Agreement in Number. Agreement in number, what we're talking about is the subject and the predicate, okay? They have to agree with each other, single or plural. So if the subject is single, the predicate needs to have a single form of the verb. If the subject is plural, the predicate needs to have a plural form of the verb. So here's the vocabulary words you need to understand. Number in grammar is whether a word refers to one or more than one. Singular, referring to just one item. Plural, referring to more than one items. Agreement, the use of singular verbs for singular subjects and plural verbs for plural subjects. Helping verb, a verb used when a main verb, with a main verb to make a verb phrase. Forms of the verbs have, be, do, will, and can are common helping verbs. They're also called linking verbs and auxiliary verbs, helping verbs. Contractions with helping verbs. Combined subject and helping verb in one word, where an apostrophe replaces the missing letters. For example, I am, I'm. We will, we'll, you would, you'd. She is, she's, do not, don't, etc. So after looking at the academic vocabulary for agreement and number, let's find out how. How to get agreement, subject-verb agreement. So step 1, find the subject. Step 1, find the subject. Check to see if the subject is singular, right, one, or plural, two or more. Step 2, well, let's look at the example. Applied research. Now, is research one thing or two or three or four things? Now, we consider it a single subject. We say the research. Applied research, so it, advance or it advances. That's right, advances. Okay. New technologies, to the S at the end, that is plural, plural subject. So they appear or they appears. That's right, they appear. Okay, so find the subject, see if it's single or plural. Step 2, use a verb that agrees with the subject in number. Keep in mind that most nouns end in S or ES when they're plural, so definitely look at the end. However, most verbs ending in S are singular. That sounds confusing, but it's really not that confusing. We think he, she, it, and we add an S to the verb for those single subjects. So he, she, it talks. He, she, it walks. He, she, it thinks. So we add an S to those subjects. Okay? So, example, find the singular verb in the first example sentence above. Find the plural noun in the second example sentence above. So the singular verb here, the plural noun, okay. Step 3, make the first helping verb agree with the subject. So if there's a helping verb, make the first helping verb agree with the subject. Okay, examples. Older technology has, so it has, seemed in danger of being declared obsolete. That's a form of have. Once the typewriter was called, so it was called a dinosaur doomed to extinction. And that's a form of to be. However, this prediction does seem premature now. And that's a form of do. Let's look at step 4. Check subject-verb agreement with contractions. And remember, the contraction likely is having a helping verb, so make sure that helping verb matches the subject in number. Check subject-verb agreement with contractions. When a contraction combines a subject and verb in one word, they must agree. You may write them as 2 words just to check. 2 contractions are often confused, are doesn't and don't. Use doesn't with singular objects, okay, except for I and you. Just think of it this way. I do, you do, he does, she does, it does, they do, we do. Just go back to basic English. Use don't with all plural subjects and with I and you. So, I do, I don't. You do, you don't. They do, they don't. We do, we don't. You all do, you all don't. Okay, so incorrect. A typewriter don't catch computer viruses. It doesn't sound right. It don't? No, it doesn't. And that is how we do that. So let's look at the worksheet you were given for lesson 3, agreement and number. Okay. Rewrite each sentence in the space provided. You know I don't need you to rewrite, I just need you to correct. Correct all errors in subject-verb agreement. If a sentence is already correct, write C. Number 1. These days, most personal computer users prefers inkjet or laser printers. Okay, so step 1 is find the subject. What's the subject? The subject is computer users. Okay, and what's the verb? Prefers. So users prefers or users prefer? That's right, so we're going to get rid of that S. Users prefer, inkjet, they prefer. Number 2, complex tasks such as producing glossy photos or fancy letterheads is handled easily. Okay, so what's the subject? Subject is tasks. What's the verb? You have a helping verb, right? Is handled. So match the helping verb to the subject. Tasks is? Tasks is? No. Tasks are. So we need to correct that one. Tasks are. And that is how you do that. Subject-verb agreement.